So I got some feedback on my last video and I was told that I didn't ask anybody to like and subscribe. Please, you people should not be angry. It's not because I am proud. I need you to like and subscribe. The gist was just very sweet and I forgot. So please, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to the channel and let me know what direction I should go in the conversations that we are having. And today I want to talk about something very interesting: perfection.
Ladies and gentlemen, the millennial Christian.
I want to kick off today's video by telling you 15 people who have impacted my life and who I have learned from in the last maybe 10 years. This is by no means an exhaustive list. There are so many more people, but I just wanted to put up the first 15 that came up to my mind so that I could show you something. Are you ready? So on the list, I have Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Apostle Joshua Selman, Pastor Emmanuel Iran, Bishop David Oyedepo, Pastor Robert Madu, Annabelle Fayomi, Mrs. Blaq-Olajide, Elder Isabere Iyogu, Pastor Niyi Adegboye, Pastor Joseph John Audu, Jose Mourinho, Deji Fayomi, Evangelist Joy Olajide, and Dr. Judith Gewamu. You know something you quickly notice in that list? Not every single one of them is a pastor or a minister. Yes, the list is full of pastors, but then there are definitely people on the list who are not even believers. Like, they don't believe in Jesus Christ. I go as far as saying one of them there is an atheist, right? But I have learned from them and I have allowed them to influence me. There's something also interesting I want you to know in that list. You see those 15 people there are some things that they have said or done that I do not agree with. Some of them are my closest friends, and I'm very certain that there are things that I have also said or have done that they do not agree with. Why am I talking about this today? Because I am looking at the world and everybody thinks that the problem we have is cancel culture. And I personally don't think that the problem we have in the world is cancel culture, but rather we have a problem of the expectation of perfection, which is why you find in today's day and age, when somebody makes a mistake, they are not given grace, but rather they are dragged, they are criticized, and every other part of their life is put into ridicule because they make one error or because they make one mistake. You see, something that is affecting our world today is a lot of us are looking for our idea of perfection from our friends, from our bosses, from our partners, and even from our pastors. So all of a sudden, what happens is that if they will not do things the way that you will do things, if they will not say things the way that you say things, if they will not feel things the way that you feel things, as a matter of fact, if they will not react to you the way you want them to react to you, all of a sudden, something is wrong, and all of a sudden, you must separate yourself from them. And you know the funniest thing about it? We have this thing we call it now, which is boundaries. Listen, I know that boundaries are important, but you need to be careful how you are defining your boundaries so that you're not building fences to keep every single person out. I mean, ask any married person you know. They will tell you that their partner frustrates them because they don't do things the way they expect them to do things. Some people's partners don't know how to sleep. Some people's partners are terrible with money. Some people's partners don't know how to keep a house clean if their life depended on it. And it is frustrating, but it doesn't mean that your partner does not love you, or it doesn't mean that they're not a great partner. It just means that there's an area of their life where they are not perfect. The reason I'm talking about this today is I find that people are losing friendships, people are losing relationships, people are losing their families, and people are losing access to people who can influence their life positively because they believe that those people don't hold up to their standard of perfection. And the first question I want to ask is, outside of Jesus Christ, who is perfect? Because we know that Jacob was doing 419. We know that Isaac was lying. Abraham's biggest issue was not even that he lied. Abraham went and had side chick, had a child, and refused to take responsibility for his child. You don't believe me? Go and check out the story of Ishmael. Elijah had major league anger issues. Elisha doubled the anger issues. Solomon, womanizer. David, murderer and womanizer. Peter denied Jesus Christ. Paul was the definition of the accuser of the brethren. Moses was a murderer. You know what is funny? We use all these men to preach. We preach about Abraham all the time. We preach about David all the time. We preach from Paul's letters. We preach with Peter all the time. We preach about even Jonah. Jonah that wanted people to die just so that he can be proven right. That guy, we preach about him too. All of these people who we learn from, who we emulate in one way or another in our life today, were not perfect men. And I would just to say that if they should put my own life on a book the way they put David's life on a book, I don't think anybody will be listening to me. Because guess what? I am not perfect either. I have my own flaws. Some of them I'm well aware of and I'm working on them. Some of them I don't even know. Some of them, because I have not reached the level where they will be revealed, I don't even know that I have those flaws. And guess what? You are not perfect either. So there's something I do around my birthday. I would reach out to people who are close to me and people who I know will be honest with me, and I ask them, what do you think I can improve on? There are some things, I'll kid you not, I've been doing it for the last 6 years. And every year there are some things that they repeat themselves every year. And I'm working on them. I'll work on it for like 3 months, I'll fall back. Some things, of course, I've become better at. But every single year it opens my eyes to the fact that there's still a lot of work for me to do on myself. And I dare you, if you have friends who can be honest with you, you can even ask them to do it anonymously. Let them tell you things you can improve on. You will find that part of love is accepting people's flaws and imperfections. And when we understand that, we start to give grace to people. Now, there's a certain set of people that don't experience enough grace, and I want to talk about them. I've always wanted to talk about this, but it was kind of hard for me to do for the last 5 years because I was with them. Now I'm not inside. I'm talking about pastors. So for the last 5 years of my life, I have been pastoring the amazing church that is the Lighthouse Church in Abuja in Nigeria. But right now, I'm in a new season of my life and I am not pastoring, so I can't speak for pastors because I've endured it. You really need to take it easy and you need to not let the devil cheat you. Let me explain what I mean. Now, there are amazing men of God, wonderful pastors who have said and have done things that were not correct. They may have had some takes on social issues or on even on Bible issues that are not correct. They may have taken a stance or done something that is wrong. And now I'm not talking about people that are committing obvious crimes and are putting the name of God to disrepute. Those people know themselves and there's going to be specific judgment for them. But there are pastors who have been genuinely wrong because maybe they don't have the right information, or maybe that is the rema and understanding that they know from their own experience. And you know what happens? We tend to throw away the baby with the bathwater, and all of a sudden you tell yourself, I can never listen to this pastor. Oh, I don't roll with this pastor. Oh, this pastor's message can never bless me. Oh, I don't like this pastor because he's always talking nonsense. He has said over a million things. He said one thing you did not agree with, and all of a sudden he's always talking nonsense. Or he was rude to somebody on the street, or you saw him doing something, and then all of a sudden you decide that his entire ministry, everything that he has done, the people that he has blessed, the lives that he has uplifted, every single thing that he has done is not worth it because he did not live to your standard of perfection. Let me explain something to you that I keep telling people. You see the church is a hospital. Everybody there is sick. There's only one doctor. That doctor's name is Jesus. The problem is a lot of the times we begin to have the expectations we should have of doctors, of other patients. You see those your pastors, they are patients like you. Yes, they've just been patients. They've just been in the hospital longer than you. So imagine you go to a hospital for the first time and then there's somebody who goes there every single day because they have a niggling illness or because, somebody is ill. They will know where the admin office is. They will know where you need to make payments. They will know what doctor you need to talk to. They will even know what bathroom is clean at what time because they are there constantly. Now, because they know the inner workings of the hospital and they can guide you to the hospital, does that make them a doctor? Does that make them the head of admin? No, it just means they are a better patient than you. If you stay in the hospital long enough, guess what? You will know these things too, but it doesn't make you a doctor. In fact, somebody might know how a surgery is performed because they've been through that surgery multiple times. They've done the same surgery on them maybe 6 times. That is now why they know, okay, this is how much anesthesia they're going to give me. This is how long the surgery is going to take. These are the kind of complications that can happen. And you now say, oh, this person is a doctor. No, they're not a doctor. They are still a patient. They've just been on the operating table longer than you. They've just been in the hospital longer than you. Ergo, the same thing. These pastors, these men of God, they are patients like God is also working on them. They are candidates and recipients of the same mercy and same grace. They are not Jesus. It's only Jesus Christ that can save. That's the only person you need to have expectations of perfection from. Not these men. Now, am I saying that they should not be held to high standards and they should not be accountable? Not in the slightest. I think when you make a mistake, the right thing to do is apologize. The right thing to do is to come out and say you made a mistake. But that requires knowing that you made a mistake. Sometimes you don't know. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know a perfect pastor. I don't. I mean, some people might attend a church where their pastor is an angel and his assistant God. But me personally, I've related with a lot of men of God, myself included. None of us is perfect. We are trying our best. We are progressing and we're working towards perfection. And we are following Christ. And we're asking you to follow us like we follow Christ. But actually, there is no perfect pastor. And then you hold them to this standard of perfection that even you cannot meet. Do you know why I know you cannot meet it? And I know you're going to say, oh, yes, I'm not a pastor. But guess what? The last exam you wrote, did you get 100%? In case you don't know, when you write an exam, the assumption is that you have mastered the skill so much that you're good enough to know everything about it. But when you write exam, you don't get 100%, which means even you at the level that you are, you're not perfect. So if you're not perfect, why are you expecting perfection from somebody else at another level? Same thing with your manager. You, and I'm not saying this to be shady, but you are only responsible for your life right now. But your room is a mess, your car needs fixing, and you have trouble prioritizing. But somehow you are busy shouting that your manager, who is running 15 different people with 15 different problems, who cannot keep to deadlines, is a terrible manager. You are finding problems with your manager, but you can't manage your life when it's only you that needs to manage yourself. Same thing with parents. I always say this, especially around us millennials, and especially the younger millennials. There's a thing that we do where we're always talking about how our parents, I see it all the time, oh, our parents failed us. If my parents did this, they could have been better this, my parents could have been better that, this is that, this is that. So I went and did some research. And here's what I found. Books on parenting started being written en masse in around 1995. People started doing more research into child psychology around 97, 98, 99. And this book did not become mainstay till around 2007. By which time a lot of millennials, you guys were deep into your teens. And your parents at this point, they were reading more business books and they were reading more of the Bible. Why am I saying this? There's a lot of information that's available to you about, helping a child process their feelings and all of this that your parents did not have. Your parents did the best with the resources and information that they had available to them at the time. Guess what? You are also just doing your best with the resources and information that you have available to you. If you sit with your parents and they tell you what they went through with their parents, all they tried to do was be better than their parents. And all you are trying to do, if you don't know, is be better than your parents and be the best version of a parent that you can be. Right? That's what you're trying to do. How would you feel if in 10 years' time, all the sacrifices you're making, your child comes and tells you that you failed them? Because one time you listened to somebody else when you should have listened to them. Or because they beat you when they could have talked to you. Or because, they forced you to study something that they thought would save your life because they were only doing what they knew at the time. Am I saying that our parents are perfect? No. I think parents, there's a generational gap and people are flawed. But what you have to understand is that if you dig through 95 to 98% of parents, every action that they have taken in your life is a function of love. Even the discipline. What people forget is that the same people who paid your fees, the same people who gave you a roof over your head, who clothed you, who took you to see Santa, or as we call it in Nigeria, Father Christmas, who allowed you to have friends, who some of them sacrificed not having clothes, not taking holidays, just so you can do what you want to do, who led you to Christ, who took you to church and all of that, because of a couple of decisions that you think you would have made differently if you were in their shoes, all of a sudden you think that your parents failed you. It then comes to friendships. When they don't like the same person that you like, or there's a disagreement and they don't agree with your line of sight, line of thoughts, and pattern of living life, all of a sudden you say that you need to cut them off. I think in the world today, we are barren to a place where people are going to be scared to be their authentic self because there's always going to be an expectation of someone's idea of perfection in their head. Now, if you know me, you know that I will never come out and say that you should not care what people think about you. I think it's important that you put yourself in a position where people think highly of you, where you are respected. But more than anything, my entire talk today is, first of all, you need to learn to give yourself grace and understand that the goal is to progress every day. That's why the Bible says the path of the righteous shines brighter and brighter until that perfect day. And the perfect day is when Jesus Christ comes for all of us. That's the only time that we can be perfect, because that's the time the Bible says that we'll put on incorruptible. We'll take away this corruptible body because this body is corruptible, and then we'll put on what is incorruptible. Up until that time, we'll all be flawed. We'll all say things we don't mean. We'll all do things with the best intentions. They'll turn out the wrong way. We'll take stances based on limited information because we are human beings. But you need to extend grace to yourself. You need to extend grace to others. But more than anything, I hope that you stop closing yourself off to amazing experiences, to being influenced by wonderful people, to learning from great minds, great spirits, to having fellowship with amazing people simply because they don't meet your standard of perfection. Because nobody will outside of Jesus. And Jesus' standard of perfection is never your own. It's actually Jesus' own. And if you are being honest, you don't meet his standard of perfection. So if he can come and die for you with all your nonsense, what are you doing? All right. So once again, like I said in the start of the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm very curious to know what your thoughts are in the comments about this conversation we've had today. So please put a comment down, let me know. And you've got this, and God bless you.